Well, just back from another visit to Alturas for groceries. Seem to run out of things very quickly. But anyway, I went this time and got other stuff that we really needed. And uh, it's great. I'm a bit thick on this, if you think about it. That I don't have the accountant's way of looking at things. How many kilos has that cost, and how many kilos was it last week, and what's the difference, and that's how much the cost of living is going up. I can't do that. Unfortunately, I'm not so businesslike and organized, but I do see that the different packaging that is here for the meat, which I actually got back earlier this morning, and so I put the meat into the freezer. With the temperature here, it's not good for it to defrost, so it's gone into the freezer. Now, I got 3 lots of the pork on the bone, which we normally get anyway. And what they've started doing at Alturas is that they're packaging it differently. They are pre-packaging it so that when you go to fight all of those Filipino housewives and mothers, you're not actually fighting anybody, because you can just lean over and take a pre-packaged bag of pork on the bone. Excuse me, I've suddenly got the hiccups. Well, anyway, I got 3 bags, and what's happened is that what I used to do was I used to get a bag, and then I would choose the bits that I wanted and put them into the bag, and I would gauge how much we would need for one meal, and that way I had control over how much was going to be cooked in each meal. Now, what's happened now is that they are, as I say, they're pre-packaging it, so when I go, I'm aware that I'm taking more meat per bag. So it's difficult to gauge whether the meat itself has actually gone up. I believe that it has, and what they're doing is they're selling more meat per bag than they were before, and the difference in price is appreciable. Whereas before, let me see, around 100 was reasonable. That was what I expected to pay. If I put in a little more than normal, excuse me, then it would be around 130, and that I would consider was a little bit expensive. If it went to 150, then it was definitely more than I was used to paying. Now we're looking at least 200 per bag, and there's Taliklik trying to be invisible. So we're looking at least 200 per bag, but it's more meat than I would normally get. So we're perhaps eating more than we normally do, and of course we're paying for it. But the price tag now is quite often 250 for one bag. So if you really look at it, the meat for this little shopping trip has cost between 600 and 700, whereas before I was able to shop and keep it around 2,000. So let's show you what we've actually got. I haven't turned the camera around, and I stopped and started it. This is instead of looking at me. That can't be a bad thing, can it? I got a few things here. I like to get the curry mix, and that's actually not too much anyway. I'll go through the prices with you. Now this time I got a cherry jam. I got a couple of these. Beth likes these little chocolate things. Got more skyflakes because Beth has taken to feeding the dogs, and she gives them the dogs as a little treat. I've got three oranges. The oranges are up in price. Don't know whether you can see that. 42 pesos, and there's 3, so that's over 100, whereas it used to be under 100. Somebody asked especially about the cheese. There we have Eden cheese, and that is the cheese that I eat, and I eat that as a snack. You know, so this is actually good, and it's actually nice cheese. So I haven't finished the last one, but I got another one. Now, the big one is that I got. Let me see. I think this is 10 kilos. Let me get it round so that we can see. It's 10 kilos of premium rice. This is the rice that Beth swears is the best. So what you've got to imagine in amongst this for the bulk, which I usually say, look at the bulk and get an idea of whether you've got the same amount as before. We've got a few higher end items. The cheese is more expensive than I would wish for, but then all of it is the same. Eden cheese, I think actually on the price thing it says, let me see, Eden cheese 430 grams, is that what it says? Is 144.95. Right, now what I have found is I found a different way of buying the chocolate. They're thinner bars, but now instead of me taking one bar and giving between the three of us, Taliklik and Beth and myself, we used to have part of a bar or part of 2 bars, but they were bigger and they were the American name. Now I found this one that says Goya, and let me see, where does it say Goya? The bar, it's 3 bars, so you get 2 plus 1, and it's taped together, and it only comes, where I lost it again, it only comes to 52 pesos. Now before, if I got say a couple of bars or the pack, it was a lot more chocolate than that, but it was coming out at 250. So anything over 200, I start thinking, I get miserly and saying, oh, that's too much. I know that the cherry jam, what I usually have marmalade, and what I do is I have the sky flakes, right, which is the crackers, put the crackers with the cheddar cheese, and if I put a little of the marmalade, it's really delicious. So marmalade on the crackers and then with the cheese, and it was a real treat. Not quite so dry because crackers are quite dry. So this has come for the rice. Let me see. The rice, cameo rice, 10 kilos came to 5.15, which is a lot. So that's a big. Now you need to come and sit around here, honey. Yeah, so we can see you. Okay, that one. We've been hijacked this time by Taliklik, who I know is going to be an absolute chatterbox.
And here is some crackers, marmalade, and cheese.
Right. Okay. We're off to a good start. She's actually talking. So, honey, what else? How have I failed? She is my reality check. I got to get her to come around here so she's in camera. So, what have I missed?
Yeah, you forgot to boat some curry meat.
Some what?
Curry meat.
Curry meat. Ah, yeah. Okay. Now the curry, because we normally get, since we found since we found these, which really does make a very nice sauce, and Taliklik is the chef of the house, and we usually get these small cut chunks of pork, and that's what Taliklik calls curry meat. Okay, instead of the bone. We didn't do too badly though, or you didn't, making the curry last time with the bone. It was
okay.
It was still good,
Yeah.
but it's easier. So, what else was it you were saying that I should have to get?
Pepper.
Peppers.
Pepper.
Peppers, are they the ones that are like this that you cut?
No. Pepper.
Pepper.
Powder.
Powder. Oh, okay. That pepper.
Pepper.
Not peppers.
Pepper
Okay.
or what?
What?
Pepper.
What can I do? What can I do with a face like that? I would be hopeless disciplinarian. So, what else?
That's one.
That's all? Peppers.
Wait. Coconut milk, the one in sachet.
We're out. I looked at coconut. Coconut milk? No, you mean for cooking?
For the curry.
Isn't that what we cook with?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the same as for the cooking. So that's three things. I got to get the meat, pepper, and the curry milk. Well, you can come with me and show me what peppers we need to get.
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. So, I'm going to get Tallet to talk about everything else. Did I do okay on the other stuff?
Yeah. Wow.
You think this, you remember what the marmalade used to taste like?
Yeah.
That, which was nice, wasn't it? But we never see cherries here, do we?
No. Daddy, this one is good with cheesecake on top.
It's good with what?
Cheesecake on top.
Okay. You know that you don't eat this with a spoon straight from the jar, don't you? That's what. When I got the marmalade, they're eating it straight from the jar with a spoon. Instead of spread very, very thin on a cracker so it lasts a long time, Skinflint strikes again. Did you eat it with a spoon? No, you'll never admit to that, will you? That look is what tells you. Actually, very soon after arriving here with Filipinos, you get used to the fact that they will never say no, or if it means getting themselves in trouble, they'll never say yes. So asking Taliklik, did she used to eat straight from the jar with a spoon? The answer would be, oh, you see the eyes going over like, right, so we've only got one more week of you. We only have to put up with you for one more week. It's a trial, but it's tough at the top. So, will you be glad to go?
Yeah.
Will you be glad to leave us?
Yeah, I'm going to school.
You'll be glad.
Yeah. Because
See,
I'm coming back.
see, loyalty spreads very thin, doesn't it? You better say goodbye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Adorable girl. So anyway, what else? What else can I tell you about this? Really, it's not anymore about the food that we eat, but things definitely are getting more expensive. There's no doubt about that. But I still wake up in the morning, feel, well, at my age, I feel very lucky to have woken up at all. But anyway, we go, and I left this morning to go and have breakfast, as is my wont, every Tuesday and Friday, and I left late. We started talking late, just as I was getting ready to leave. Always takes longer than you think. I have to open the gate, I have to turn the truck around, and it takes longer. So I usually leave by 25 after 9 to get there for 10. Today I left much later than that, maybe 22:10 or even later than that, because I looked down as soon as I got on the National Highway, and oh gosh, it was already after 1:45. Now this is the wonderful thing about being in the province, is that it is about 18 to 20 kilometers to Tallet from where we live, and I was still there at 10 o'clock, so 15 minutes to go 20 kilometers. If you think in terms of the city, even Tagbilaran or Cebu, 15 minutes to go 20 kilometers is absolutely crazy. Crazy good is what I'm saying. So anyway, even driving pretty safely, kilometers per hour, you're not doing anything like the speed that you're looking at 4 miles per hour. And I was still there on time. And when I get there on time, our meetings are what both Michael and I have dubbed sanity resets. So we go there. One of the things that you have to get used to if you're going to be an expat here and live in this foreign land, it's a foreign land, and you are the foreigner. So we commiserate, we can vent about things which we find difficult to understand, and there are many, but we do that without any rancor. We don't, we're not hating it, which when I first came out to the Philippines, I found that going on most of the expat sites, I'm not saying everybody, and I'm only saying for me, I found that the negativity was great. So I stopped going on the other sites. Soon enough, we were on the other sites in a different way. For those of you who were with us a few years ago will remember how I called it, we were flavor of the month for being bashed. But anyway, met with Michael. We were not able to meet at our last meeting because of going to Cebu. So this was a bigger gap than usual, but we still managed to have our talks and save the world, as you probably noticed. So let me see what is a big thing to actually experience that is not usually dealt with or mentioned. And that is the ability to talk. Because when you're in, this is the thing, is you have this deceiving situation where it appears that everybody understands everything that you say until you do a word which you think, do they really understand that word? And like, as I've said many times with Beth, and Michael confirms that this is something that he does, and other expats too. So if you had a word like vocabulary, and you mentioned, so if you just actually said vocabulary, and then you look at the whoever you're talking to, and you say, do you know what vocabulary means? Yes. Yes. What does it mean? I don't know. So the expat logical way of thinking is the next question. and that is, why did you say that you knew what I meant when you didn't? And they'll probably say something like, I forgot. So it's difficult sometimes to navigate your way of living on a daily basis, So you forget, and you start to censor. You start to censor from your own speech words that you think will be too difficult for someone to understand. And so you wouldn't say words like vocabulary. But if you were suddenly tempted to use a word like, say, impede, well, if you used it without thinking, you would then say, do you know what the word impede means? Yes. Really? What does it mean? I don't know. And off you would go. With another expat, and this is why you need the idea of an expat support group, preferably one that doesn't delve straight into the negativity quicksand where you're bogged down for God knows how long, the duration of the visit or meeting. You need that so that you can actually talk again. And I'm reminded of that Castaway movie where the man is cast away by himself, and in order to keep his vocabulary up, he talks to a coconut which he has painted a face on it, and he calls it, I don't know, Harry or Joe or something, and he keeps his speech going. If you don't, you will forget, and when you come here, it is a problem that your vocabulary will decrease. You understand what the word decrease means, don't you? Okay, thanks for being with me. Thanks for looking at the lovely Taliklik. Sorry about the word Taliklik. I've tried for the person who says, can't you find another name instead of Taliklik? I've asked Taliklik, what does your name mean? I don't know. Does your mother know? I don't know. So I ask Beth, honey, what does Tallet mean? What does the name Tallet mean? And she answers another question, not the one I've asked. She says, it's her nickname. Well, yes, dear, I know it's her nickname, but what does it mean? I don't know. So I tried to find out what it means, and nobody knows. I asked Taliklik, and she has no idea. She said, well, it's my nickname. Yes, I know it's your nickname, dear, but what does it mean? It's never going to happen. I've gone on too long. Thank you for being with us again and talking and improving my vocabulary, which was always rather, what can I say, limited. You understand the word limited, don't you? Bye for now.